Well, tonight, guys, it is a massive game for Rangers as we take on Aberdeen at Ibrox tonight at 8 p.m. And you know what? Bonus for you on our morning news video. You don't just get my ugly mug. I'm today joined by Lorah, fresh from work. Lorah, welcome. How you doing?
I'm great, thanks. How are you, Owen?
I'm good. Lorah, you're looking mighty awake and mighty with it to consider you've been at work all of last night. And now it's,
I'm all right. I'm good.
Oh, good. So, Lorah, it's a massive, huge, massive game today for Rangers. How are you feeling ahead of tonight's game?
You're right. It is a massive game. It's huge. I'm not going to lie. I'm always nervous playing Aberdeen. I'm never overly confident, but I'm confident enough to say that I do think we're going to get a win. But I'm a bit nervous. Yep.
Absolutely. And, you know, guys, we all know that the game tonight just got a little bit harder today, didn't it? With the news that they have appointed Neil Warnock as their manager. Neil Warnock, obviously, in his news conference today, talked about the fact that the law of tonight's game was just too much for him. And it will be tough tonight. He will have them bang up for this game and he'll have them in our faces. And Lorah, are you worried about that new manager bounce with Neil Warnock that Aberdeen might bring tonight?
That's exactly the new manager bounce, isn't it? You see a lot of teams when the new manager comes in, but it can also go the other way. But I think Aberdeen are absolutely going to be up for it, and with this new manager, they're going to want to impress them. Everybody's going to want to keep their place in the team come the summer. So I think Aberdeen tonight is a team to fear.
Absolutely, and they'll be bang up. And they played they played very well on Saturday against that lot from across the city. A very impressive performance. We will touch on a couple of their players later on. Well, for me, after all that happened on Saturday, we've got to win tonight because that would be all for nothing in a way if we drop points tonight. And I'm talking about even a draw tonight. I don't think is good enough, especially obviously with them playing Hibs on Wednesday night. It's all about piling the pressure on tonight. And I think we go into tomorrow's game, obviously Celtic coming into their game tomorrow, sorry. If we can win tonight, Lorah, it really piles the pressure on them. We'll be joint top on points. We could even be ahead of them on goal difference, depending on what does happen tonight with it. For me, Lorah, it's all about piling that pressure on.
Oh, completely. And like you said, a draw isn't going to be good enough. We have seen in the past where Celtic drop points and then Rangers go ahead straight after them and drop points. We cannot have that mentality. We have to get a win tonight. I mean, we know Hibs are playing dreadful at the minute. They got slaughtered at the weekend. But Celtic aren't playing great either. And I think, if we get this win tonight, it's going to put massive pressure on Celtic. Celtic know that this is a huge game for us tonight, meaning their game tomorrow is also huge. There's going to be a lot of pressure on all of the teams, but I'm not even really wanting to focus too much on Celtic. It's us and how we play, and we have to make Celtic fear us because they haven't for a long time.
Absolutely, and I think this year it is about putting that together in terms of it being the first year in a little while since 55, obviously, that we've had the fact that we've been in a position to really challenge them and get up there with them. And I mean, as well, I heard an interesting statistic today. Apparently, Brendan Rodgers has never won Easter Road. Apparently, I don't know how true that is, but something I did hear on I think it was Rangers Review earlier today. Now, if we look at the league table going into tonight's game, so obviously Rangers sit second on 55 points, Celtic top on 58. The goal difference now is only 2 different. Lorah, it just really shows, isn't it, again, that a win tonight and it is 58 points. It's level on points. If we can just get 2 or 3 goals, that table would look so much better, wouldn't it?
Oh, I mean, a win is an absolute must, but a win by 2 or 3 goals would just be absolutely incredible. I mean, can you just imagine the atmosphere? This is what everybody's wanting this. So sitting level with them is one thing, but sitting top of that league because of the goal difference would just be the cherry on the cake.
Absolutely. I think that's obviously going to be a chance that we've got to take our chances tonight. So a pressure will fall on whoever is obviously up front tonight. And, Fabio Silva was put up in front of the media tonight and he was very impressive on Saturday. And I think it will come down for Philippe Clement for a straight choice between him and Cyril Dessers, who won the Men's January Player of the Month today as well. So, a lot of positives going for the Strike Force coming into the game. Now, if we look at that league table, Aberdeen currently sit 8th in the table. They've got a couple of games in hand on the teams above them, a game in hand on Hibs, a couple of games on St Mirren, on Killie and on Hearts. But their form, it's for me, it's really difficult to assess for two reasons, Laura, going into tonight's game. One is obviously, as we've mentioned, the new manager coming in, the Neil Warnock factor. He is a good manager. He's done reasonably well down south of the border. But the fact that for me, Laura, as well, Aberdeen always seem to up their game and play like prime Barcelona crossed with Brazil 1970 whenever they come across Rangers.
It's honestly so true. I've watched Aberdeen play, Killie and whoever, and they're just your kind of standard team. They don't shine, but then they come to Ibrox, or when we go to them, they're a different team. They absolutely bring their game against Rangers every time. It's frustrating.
Absolutely, it is. Yeah, 100% frustrating, and it is, like I said, a bit, I don't know, like a cross between prime Barcelona and cross with Brazil 1970 at times. And to me, it's actually letting their fans down. But it's something they've done always. I remember hearing Graham Roberts interviewed on a podcast once, and he talked about the fact that even back in his day, when he played in the late 80s, early 90s, it was always the case. Aberdeen always played like it was their Champions League final, their World Cup final, no matter who they were playing. Now, if we have a little look at the two teams' form coming into today's game. Now, Rangers, obviously pretty impressive. We can take the Hertha Berlin game out of there because obviously that was a friendly. Laura, the form of our Rangers has been very impressive so far in this month of January, coming into February, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, it absolutely has. I'm just having a wee look at this now. It's been great. The whole of January coming into February, it's been such a high. It's been such a positive. There's just that total different mentality of the team. The form's fantastic.
Absolutely. You look at those results that Rangers have got over time. If we go back to sort of, to that Christmas Eve game against Motherwell at Fir Park, a 2-0 win at Fir Park. Obviously, unfortunately, that was backed up with that unfortunate defeat at Parkhead. Let's not get into that because that's a whole different podcast. That's a whole different debate. A 3-1 win at Killie just before the Christmas break. Then obviously we've got the mid-season friendlies, which we'll ignore. Dumbarton in the Cup, a 4-1 win. Go to Easter Road and utterly dominate, 3-0 win. St Mirren away, a 1-0 win. And the game against Livy at the weekend, Laura, a 3-0 win for us as well. Philippe Clement has got this team playing some spot-on football and making progress across the park, hasn't he?
Oh, completely. He absolutely deserved his Manager of the Month award. He really did. He's different class. He is a class act manager for me. He knows what he wants. He knows what he's doing. And I know, we weren't too happy with the transfer window, but we've just got to trust the guy. And so far, he hasn't let us down. He really hasn't.
Absolutely. And, he's what for me really impressed was there was a fantastic quote today on the press conference, Laura, and I know you obviously would have missed the press conference, been at work yesterday, but he said that, and this really impressed me. He said, "I know how to win trophies. I know how to win cups. I've been there as a manager. I've been there as a player," and that to me it fills me with confidence. I love that quote.
The confidence of him saying that, and you believe him, you trust him. Plenty of confidence in him. I think he's fantastic.
Absolutely. And like you said, like you mentioned, Laura, as well, he thoroughly deserves his Manager of the Month award for January. A phenomenal time for Rangers. And, one thing for me, Laura, and I think, picking up on tonight's game is the way he's closed them down and he's chased them down. We were 8 points behind coming out of that game on the 30th of September when we lost to Aberdeen, weirdly, at Ibrox, which we'll mention shortly. His form as a manager, Laura, this was a stat I shared on a video earlier. If you look at that, last 15 games, he's won 13, lost 1, drawn 1, points 40. And Brendan Rodgers won 10, lost 2, drawn 3, 33 points. We've gained 7 more points over the last 15 games than them. That just shows the form we are in coming into tonight's game.
Oh, completely. It's incredible. If I go back then kind of middle end of last year, people were saying, can Rangers win the league? I'm like, no, the league's done. It's done. We can't catch up. Big Phil comes in and completely changes the mindset of everybody. I know it's a bit harsh to start claiming the league's done that early on in the season, but that was how I felt, and I don't feel that way at all anymore now.
Absolutely. And we look at sort of the last 10 games between us and them, and I know there's a lot of talk, isn't there, about this how they play against us, but our record against them is not that bad actually. If you look at the last 10 games, we've won 6, lost 2, drawn 2. Ibrox, the 6 games we played at Ibrox, we've only lost once. Unfortunately, that was this season at 3-1 on the 30th of September 2023. But Laura, looking at that, it's not that bad, is it? Our form against them is pretty decent.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's how I was saying, I'm confident enough to say we're going to win the game, but it's not to take away that it's going to be a hard game. We do tend to beat Aberdeen. It's just they don't make it easy for us. They really show up. And I mean, we do play well against them. They're just a hard team for us.
Absolutely. And like I said, out of those last 10 games as well, the 2 defeats that we've had against them, obviously the first one out of those last 10 came at Pittodrie. That was the 2-0 with that Jamie Scales goal that he hit from, allegedly shot from halfway and went over McGregor. Again, that was under Michael Beale. Again, the second defeat came on that 30th September this season, that dire 3-1 performance that cost Michael Beale his job. So both the defeats, in the last 10 have come under Beale as well. So, that obviously is positive because Clement has massively changed this team. And as well, Laura, I don't know whether you saw, I do want to pick up on this actually. It was something I read today. I think I sent it to you, or it might have been yesterday. Did you see Neil Banfield, the former assistant manager's quote saying that he thought we were all being way too harsh on Michael Beale and giving Philippe Clement far too much credit for this?
Yeah, I seen that. I mean, did he see Beale at Rangers? Like, where did that come? We were being too harsh on him. Come on, I think he deserved everything that he got. I just think that's a ridiculous comment to make.
And absolutely, I think as well, I think we all remember as well that absolute car crash of a press conference that Neil Banfield did do before one of the cup games or the European games or something, where I think we all sat there just open mouthed, like, I cannot believe he is saying what he is saying. Absolute crazy guy. Now, Laura, for you tonight, who are the key men for Rangers tonight versus Aberdeen?
Key men, well, I mean, obviously, Butland being one, because you've got Miovski, who is scoring left, right and centre, so but Butland's going to be there anyways. He's going to show up as he does. A striker, is he going to put on Fabio Silva, bring him off for Dessers? I don't know. Our back four, switching Balogun for Suter. For me, again, see, to be honest, everybody in that team is key players for us when you think about it. But we need goals. Because of the goal difference thing, we need goals. So for me, it's going to be who he's playing up front.
Absolutely agree. Tonight, I think what we need to see is it's the spine tonight that's going to be absolutely key to dominating, controlling this game tonight. And that's one thing we're going to have to do. One thing Warnock's teams always try and do is try and be combative in your face. They're well organised. They're well structured. They'll sit back. They'll defend. They'll perhaps play differently to how Aberdeen may have played in the past, where they perhaps going to have a bit more of a go at us. That's not really a Warnock-style game for a tough away fixture like this. So, for me tonight, the spine will be key. Like you said, Laura, Jack Butland, obviously, any chances that Miovski gets, he needs to be on it, or Sokler if he comes on as well. Connor Goldson, I think, will have a central role tonight, organising the team. And I know, Laura, you love a bit of Connor, don't you?
Yeah, I do. He's always there. I didn't even mention him there because you just know he's going to be there.
And I thought he was a lot better against. I know it was only Livingston, but you can only beat what's in front of you. I thought he was a lot better on Saturday against Livingston. Yes, he didn't have a lot of defensive work to do, but in terms of his distribution and his discipline during the game.
He had a great game on Saturday. I was watching it on Rangers TV, and the pundits were saying the same as well. He get quite a lot of praise. He is one of the backbones of the Rangers team. When he's on that pitch, I feel so much confidence.
Absolutely, me too. Yeah, and I think for me as well tonight, the key man will be John Lundstrom. I think he's got a very key role tonight in terms of dominating, controlling that midfield. He was very impressive on Saturday, the way he got up and obviously controlled the game. Now, obviously, he won't have Ryan Jack alongside him tonight. The manager said that he's resting Jack tonight. Jack can't play 2-3 games in a week. With the fact he's just coming back from injury, and they don't want to risk him, which is very sensible. So Lunny tonight, it has a central role to play for me. Cantwell, I think, has got to be like the second half Todd Cantwell we saw on Saturday. Control that game, run that game, everything goes through him. And I think that obviously will help open the door for us. And I agree with you, Lorah. Whoever the striker is has got to take the chances that are presented to him. Now, personally, I would go with Fabio Silva because I think he's got a bit better movement. He works the whole back four. He's very much reminds me of a different type of Alfie, for example. So that for me is the key men. The spine of our team has to be spot on tomorrow. Lorah, do you think Todd can recapture the form of the second half against Livy?
Aye, absolutely. Yeah, I know. I was going to say that there. Your lips are at a completely different time for the sound. I think it might have caught back up now though. It was funny watching that there. I was trying to keep up. I mean, Todd just he came out of nowhere the second half of the Liverpool game. He was absolutely fantastic. He fully deserved his man of the match. That's what we need to see. I don't know what happened with Todd for a wee while there. He seemed to have lost his mojo, but I think it's coming back. He is a key player for Rangers. When he's on his game, I like seeing him with McCausland as well. I like to see the two of them in the pitch together. But I would definitely like to see Silva up there. I'm wanting a few. I'm wanting a few different goal scorers. You know, I'm looking for McCausland to get a goal. I'm looking for Cantwell to get a goal, Silva to get a goal, and I would love John Lundstram, one of these big, amazing strikes that he does in almost every game to hit the target.
Absolutely, 100% agree with you on that one. And I think it's important, Lorah. I think what you're saying there is really, really important that we spread the goals around and we get the confidence up amongst the likes of McCausland tonight, Cantwell, Silva, Dessers, Matondo if he plays, Cortez if he plays, to try and get that goals across the whole team. I think that's going to be central to this title challenge. It isn't just going to come down to one man scoring the goals. Like you said, Lorah, it's got to be spread around, really.
Aye, absolutely. I mean, even when you saw Ridvan getting a goal, you know, the confidence he had after that, it gives him like a boost, and it gives him this sort of motivation to play better. I mean, if you go back a few weeks, and we had 4 different goal scorers at the weekend, then a few days later we had again 4 different goal scorers. Lawrence's was chopped off. I'll give them that. That was amazing. 2 games, 4 goals, 4 different goal scorers. I love to see it.
Absolutely, 100%. Now, you know, for me, the Aberdeen will come and they will bring a threat. There are some decent players on the Aberdeen team, that worry me. And the two that I'm picking out, Lorah, that worry me are these 2 guys here. Connor Barron, who's a young lad who's actually been linked, who's out of contract in the summer and been linked with a move to Rangers. Someone I'd love to see in a Rangers team. He's a very good young midfielder. And obviously the obvious candidate there, Bojan Mijovski, the striker, who the centre-backs are going to have to be wide awake and not let him do what he did at Pittodrie, which is run off the back of them, and obviously for that goal. So that are 2 that sort of frighten me. Lorah, is anybody that particularly worries you tonight from the Aberdeen team?
So they 2 are definitely up there for me as well. But also for the second half of the Celtic game, Shinnie played quite scary. You know, he showed up. Shinnie had a great game. I'll give him that. I don't like him, just putting it out there, but he had a fantastic game. So they 2 and Shinnie, I would say, but we're going to have to keep an eye out.
Absolutely. And maybe a battle between John Lundstram and Graham Shinnie might be a very interesting one as well. I think, or even Dujon if he's fit as well. I'd love to see Dujon obviously get his opportunity tonight.
Aye, he's a big unit.
He is a big unit. And when he tackles someone, they stay tackled as well. Now, Lorah, how would you line up tonight? What would be your lineup tonight?
So our standard kind of back 4 with obviously changing Balogun for Suter. We can't have Jack Campbell, so I mean you're going to have Lundstram. What's happening with Raskin? Actually, is Raskin still injured?
No, he was on the bench on Saturday, so he is available.
So he's available. I would like to see Raskin.
Yeah,
he plays quite well with Lundstram.
Yeah.
I I feel like I want to see the new players as well. I would like to see a bit of Cortez.
Yeah.
Silva, of course, up there. I don't see when it comes to our front. I'm always a bit. I never know. I definitely don't want to see Matondo on. I'm sorry. I know it's bad. I don't. I would like to see Dessers come on maybe after an hour.
Yeah.
You know, swap him for Silva, maybe see him. Who else have we got?
Then you obviously with McCausland out wide right.
Aye, so I'm just assuming McCausland can't. Well, you know, they're going to be there. So I guess that for me. But I do want to see a bit of Cortez because for what I've seen, I mean, it looked fine. I just never seen enough of him.
Absolutely, 100%. Now I'll put a little bit of a graphic together. This is my team. I think very similar to Laura's. Butland in goal, back four, Tav, Goldson, Suter. Ridvan for me has to start. Ridvan, Laura looked fantastic on Saturday.
Oh, absolutely.
Ridvan Carlos for me on Saturday. He was like Roberto Carlos, the rebirth of. I'm going with Sterling and Lunny just because I thought Sterling and Lunny controlled that cup final. They ran that game that last time we played them when we beat them 1-0. So for me, I'm going Sterling and Lunny. My three behind the striker, Law, you'll be pleased there's no Matondo. I'm going McCausland, Cantwell, and Cortez. And I'm going with Silva up front. So that's my 11 for tomorrow. Right, guys, as well, you know, as you're watching the video, guys, please drop in the comments what would your 11 be tonight? Let me know your starting 11. Laura, what's your prediction for tonight? What's your score prediction?
God, so I can see a 2-1 Rangers. What I want is a 3-0 Rangers, but I'm going to go a 2-1 Rangers. I think Milovski's going to get a goal. I think Silva and I'm dying for wee Ross to get a goal. I'm going to go Silva, McCausland, Miovski, 2-1.
Okay, 2-1. Do you know, I was going to go 2-1 as well. I do think it's going to be a close one. I think it'll probably be 1-1 right up until near the end, and we'll probably get that winner near the end, 2-1. I'm going to go for Cantwell to continue his scoring run, and I'm going to go for I think Lunny's going to get the winner. I think it's going to be a Leipzig revisited moment from a cross or something like that, and it's going to drop into the box, and Lunny's going to smash it home for a 2-1 victory.
I would
absolutely. We won't get the goals to go top, but we'll go joint top on points at very least.
Yeah.
So just to bring our video this morning together, guys. Remember, obviously, as well, smash the sub if you've enjoyed the content. Plenty, obviously, more of me and Laura in podcasts and etc. coming up over the coming days, guys. So it's going to be a big game tonight. It's going to be a huge game. It's going to be a tough game tonight. And Laura, what are your final thoughts ahead of tonight's big game at Ibrox?
I just want the fans to show up. You know, like they are part of the team. The fans show up, bring the atmosphere. I want all the players to show up, and I think they will. We just need to go there and smash it. Keep the confidence. We're on a high right now, so we need to keep this high. Absolutely,
100%. Ibrox needs to be rocking tonight. Many people have talked about it being like a European night in terms of the atmosphere. Hopefully tonight, that's what we need. Or everything from everyone. That means fans, that means players, that means managements, that means absolutely everyone tonight. And we've got the talent, we've got the ability, we've got the manager, we've got more than enough tonight to get those 3 points and obviously, hopefully send us top of the league. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching Glasgow Rangers Nation. As always, on the way out, if you can do me 2 favours. Number 1, smash the like. And number 2, remember always, please never forget, we are the people.
The people.